Greetings. Today I'm doing the second of my Read With Me series, working my way through the Enchanted Forest tarot deck that I received at Christmas that I love so much. And I mentioned in the last video that there are some tarot spreads at the back that I thought looked fun. Just looked fun to do. They were a little different. And so today we're looking at a tarot spread which is called The Owl's Advice. Which, first of all, it looks interesting enough to me anyway, because it mentions, I'll read what it says about the spread. We all know that owls ask who. By force of enchantment, owls don't stop there. They ask more questions and help you find the answers. And he asked here 6 questions of the owl. Who? What? When? Where? And why? And then it asks for a message. Which I thought was kind of interesting because I have never been quite so specific with the tarot layout. Who, when, I've never asked those such specific questions. And I thought it might be fun to do this and try to see how we can use cards to answer such specific questions. You know, this is the problem a lot of people have when they learn the tarot cards and then they try to apply that in a spread and they can't relate quite how that card answers the question of the placement in the spread. You know, you see my point? I know you know what I mean. It'll be a little clearer when we go to do this, I think. But that was one reason I thought it'd be interesting to do. And another reason I thought it'd be interesting to do it is because, of all things, it talks about in this spread. Here, I closed the book. Why did I do that? Take the 8 of Spells card from your deck and place it before you, which is something I'll never do, but I thought today I would do it because, you know why? The 8 of Spells happens to be my card of the day. It was already out of the deck. So I thought this is going to be really fun. So I'm going to turn my camera around and I'm going to deal out the cards, and then I have 6 more cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cards, and then I'm going to turn it around and then we're going to read it together. Okay? I have my cards now laid out to receive the owl's advice from this reading, and the inspiration for this reading comes from the card, the 8 of Spells, and I thought this was such a neat card, a neat reading for me to do today because the 8 of Spells is my reading for the day. And according to the author of the Enchanted Forest, the appearance of the owls in a reading signifies that news is on the way. It also means that energy is increasing for anything that I might wish to apply my will to, my intention to, and things are speeding up and moving towards a positive conclusion, a positive reward. That's really, really cool. So this is a good reading. I'm needing this for the new year, something speeding towards something really good. Now, I just want to remind those of you who read the Rider-Waite version of the tarot that in the 8 of Wands, this corresponds to the 8 of Wands in the Rider-Waite. And the 8 of Wands shows, remember the image of the 8 wands flying through the air, all lined up in one direction towards the target, towards their target, towards some kind of an end. It usually means, pretty speed. Maybe something traveling with a speed, or maybe just you traveling. It could mean a couple things. But here we have it. The little twist is the owl's bringing news to me, the querent. I'm going to be the querent today. So the owls are bringing the news, some message to me that they want me to hear. And they're bringing it with great speed, indicating to me that this is the time right now that I hear this message. Okay, so I thought you would see the cute little card that is with the owls. I hope you can see that because it's really cute. They're precious little owls. So I just have it up at the top. It's really not a part of the reading. It's just it's just a focus. It's a focus for the reading. And I love this so much because I'm feeling so good about this because I don't normally, when I do any kind of a spread, take any of the cards, remove any of the cards from the deck. I don't normally remove a significator. A lot of people do. Somebody to represent the querent or somebody to represent the object of the question, etc. I just don't do that. That's not my style. I like to have all the cards when I shuffle, when I draw for a spread, so that every card has opportunity to show up. But in this case, since the Eight of Spells was already out of the deck for the day, since that was my card I drew for the day, I thought it was really very appropriate that I leave it out and I use the other cards to focus on the reading. So the time was perfect. Okay, so the remaining 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the cards that are actually part of this spread we're going to be reading today. And it is called, again, the Owl's Advice. What is the advice? Well, the cute little twist in this reading is owls, we think of owls answering the question who, because of the sound they make, who, which is very cute. But in this spread, we're going to learn not only who, but what, when, where, and why, and then we're going to receive a message, which I also thought this would be a good exercise for all of us to answer specific questions. And you're going to see what I mean when we go around to some of these cards. We don't ever think of these cards answering a question where, or a question, when. Sometimes we do, but I'm not a real, sometimes the when questions are going to be yes or no's, or if we have a past, present, immediate, future, sometimes we have that in a line. It sometimes will indicate time, but we don't, and I particularly do not use time so much in my readings. So I'm curious myself as to how this is going to come out when I look at the answers that the cards are offering me for these questions. Okay, so the first card we're going to move to is number 1, and I have just decided this is number 1 position before I dealt them out. I put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for no reason other than I wanted the cards together so I could get them in a shot, and I wanted to try to make some kind of movement. I like to see a movement in the placement of cards. So I have, in position left and right, and then middle working towards me, coming towards me, as this is going to be a message given to me. So the first card we see, and I will bring it a little closer so you can see it and put it down. I don't want to mess up my shot. But it is number 10, the Enchanter's Wheel. And I think you can guess by just the 10 what that is. That's the Wheel of the Year. And the Wheel of the Year, this card, the answering the question, who? Already we're a little confused. When does the Enchanter's Wheel represent a person? Okay. Well, who, I think in the Enchanter's Wheel, in this case, since we're talking about the Enchanter's Wheel, who would have to be the Enchanter? And in this deck, the Enchanter refers to, of course, the Magician. Let's see if I can get that picture and show you in my book. Right after I told my husband I was not going to, when he said my camera, I told him I was not going to be showing a book, but I'm going to show this one. The Enchanter. And I'm afraid that we're going to get a glare, so. But the Enchanter is all about observing everything that happens and getting help. He's a far-seeing when it comes to everything that's happening. He knows the larger design. He knows the larger picture. Okay? So, has everything in front of him. All the tools that he needs, but all the knowledge that he needs to is right there at his hand. So if we're going to talk about the Enchanter's Wheel as who, we might, number 1, talk about it as the Enchanter himself, or we might talk to the wheel as something that is, we give it an identity as a thing, as a real, we're giving it like the qualities of as if it were a person. We're personifying the wheel as something that is always turning, a constant I would look at it as a constant present in our lives is the wheel. It's a very real thing. And you might recall that I've been talking about the project that I've been working on for the last couple of years. I hope to finish by the end of this year. Is all about my relationship with the wheel of the year. So the wheel of the year I'm really in touch with. This is referring to not just the wheel of the year. This is referring to the wheel of life, the wheel of chance that is constantly changing. Good luck and good fortune coming in cycles with sometimes bad luck or bad fortune. That's a very natural part of life, people's life. Everything is not all good. Everything is not all bad for people. And even if you think it is, if you think, oh, some people, they have it all, if they're always so lucky, well, they're not. You only notice what's lucky in other people. That's the truth of it. It cycles in and out for most of us. But for this, we talk about the importance of life engaging in all of its forms, all of its complexity, the good times and the bad, the highs and the lows. If we're to get anything at all out of life, and out of our journey through life, we have to experience it all. And that's what is being personified in this reading. That experiencing of day-to-day life, the upper and the lower. Now remember, when we looked at the tarot reading, I also want to say, when we look at tarot cards, we sometimes see a similarity, people do, between the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. I want to tell you that the Wheel of Fortune has to do with just, it's the minor arcana. It just has to do with the small changes, but it is the ups and downs. But it also is, it's cycling. It's that cycling where the Tower is out of the blue. You don't see it coming, hitting you hard, right? Like a crash on the freeway. The Enchanter's wheel is something that is a cycle. When things are up, when part of the wheel is up, the other parts are down, right? So just if you're down, just give it a little time and it's going to come around and you're going to be on top again. And that's what this is about. This is the personified person or who in my reading today. It's about everyday ups and downs, the everyday ups and downs in life we're talking about. Now, what could that possibly mean for me? Well, let's look at position 2. And position 2 is going to say, what? It's going to give me, answering a what. What about that Wheel of Fortune? What about that everyday life, the ups and downs of everyday life? And here we have the Three of Visions. The Three of Visions, I hope you can see, are 3 bears, very happy, adorned little bears wearing some real beautiful some ivy or sprigs of berries or something. Not sure what. They're celebrating. And the Three of Visions is the 3 of Cups, which is about celebrating with friends or family or whatever. And this is about finding the kindred spirits, finding my kindred spirits, finding people, you go through life and and you hope to connect with the people that you share, you can share with. We all have family members to do that. Hopefully, some of us have spouses or partners that we can do that, hopefully. But sometimes we need a community. We need more than just our family. We need to see some place where we can celebrate with when it's time to celebrate. So this is about finding those kindred spirits, gathering with the closest friends, and together giving and receiving love together, having support and compassion for each other, collaborating maybe together on a project or some kind of maybe just offering compassion or support when we need it. And I was really excited to get this card this morning because last night we had our full moon ritual and just sat around for a very long time after the ritual and after our feast and just enjoyed each other. And what a lovely feeling that was to sit there with people that we really felt a kindred spirit with, felt a closeness with, knowing that we are there for each other and having that compassion for each other when we need it or support or just joy, just celebration of joy. So that's what this is about, having those kindred spirits. available to me, having them at this time. At this time, when we'll see, but at the time with the reading, this is so far we see ups and downs, sharing ups and downs as the Who, the Enchanter's Wheel, always turning the cycles of everyday life, the journey of life, going along with the kindred spirits. Now we look at when, and the when is the Ten of Boons, and that's here, right here. I can just pick it up a little bit so you can see it. Hope you can see Ten of Boons. And this is, of course, the Ten of Pentacles, which shows that actual celebration, the time to gather with your tribe, with your kin, with your family, being with the family at this time, or the kin with this time, the family. Even the dog here is under the table. I love this. And I particularly like this guy who's playing, looks like a lute back guitar, which is what my husband plays, which I thought that was very cute. But anyway, when this card shows up in the reading, it says that it's time now. This is the time now that this celebration is happening. And isn't that true, what's happening for me right now? This time, and to take advantage of this, because this kindred, these people, these kindred spirits of mine are going to be there through all of this ups and downs of my life. And to stand by them. And to be secure in the fact that they're going to stand by me. That's a really cool feeling. Okay, so we have the who, we have the what, and we have the when. We're going to say what, where. Can't talk. Where, and we see the Four of Boons. A lot of boons in this, which of course is the Pentacles. So this is a very hearth and home kind of a reading. But here we have the Four of Boons, which shows elves. I love this. I think we've talked about this card in the past. The Four of Boons is, of course, the Four of Pentacles. And where we see, in the Pentacles, we see the hoarder. Well, here the hoarders are the elves. And they're really attached to their, here they're attached to their pies. maybe overly attached to the material possessions. But in this case, I don't think it is talking about my material possessions. I think it is talking about, it's referring to my emotional, maybe it's a tendency for me to hoard emotionally and not always share myself with others. And that hesitancy that I have to share myself with other people. You live to be my age. I'm in my 60s, and I have had a lot of experiences in my life where I have lost friends for whatever reason. I've lost a lot through death, of course, untimely death. Some very, very young. Some of my very best friends I lost at tragically young. Or through moving away or whatever, or just growing apart and for some reason. I hope that didn't move. I gotta check. My dogs moved that. I think that's okay. Oh, I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I'm sorry about the interruption. I hope I can get my thought back. I was talking about, I think in this case, when it applies to me, that this is very, I can feel this, that this is applying to an emotional hoarding, keeping myself too close, having an experience in my life, so many experiences in my life where I've almost been afraid to show myself to people because I somehow get the feeling that I'm just destined not to have, close kind of friends. I've had a lot of friends who have just left for whatever reason. And even in pretty recent times, I had a really bad experience with some people who I had really thought I felt really safe with. I had given myself to, with confidence, and then I felt I was in a really safe place, and it turned out to be far from the truth, very far from the truth. So I have this tendency to hold myself back, and I think we're saying here in this reading, right now, I need to be in the place. Where do I need to be? I need to be in the place where I need to not fear the change, not fear. I can still open myself up to the people, to people and to friendships without not playing it safe. I can still play it safe. I'm not vulnerable by being a friend to other people. It doesn't make me vulnerable, and I think that's something I need to learn. I need to be able to give that up and not be afraid, but give it up. I can still protect myself and still be open to friendship. And I think that's what this message is saying very loudly to me with this card, the Four of Boons. Okay, so we've answered, I think, who, what, when, where, and now we're going to go why. Why? And the wise woman is in the middle. She's going to answer why. And of course, the high priestess is represented in this deck as the wise woman. Okay. And the high priestess is all talking about in the Rider-Waite about intuition and higher knowledge and those kind of things. Well, it is the same here in this deck, but in this one, it represents also the fact, which I found very interesting, that sometimes sometimes in your life you're kind of knocked off of balance. You're kind of knocked out of balance. And I need to be able to find out how to get myself back in balance. And the wise woman is telling me that it's easily done. It's easily done. Read the signs around you. Use your intuition. It's in front of you. Everything is in front of you. Signs are everywhere. When you need to make choices, signs are everywhere to tell you how to make the choice. Work with your spirits, working with your guides to make choices. And trust in that. Trust your intuition. And I need to trust in myself as a crone. I have a lot of experience, a lot of intuition, a lot of wisdom. And I it's not the same as some, 13-year-old insecure person trying to, understand why a friend, hurt my feelings when I was, that's ridiculous. I'm a grown woman. I can handle this. So, this all really, really relates. I love this so much, how that all comes together. And then we see the final one is a message. This is the Ace of Boons, and we see this is a little toad. And I found out about the little toad. We talked about him before. But the Ace, remember in the Rider-Waite, it was very, it's represented, of course, by a coin, usually. And it usually indicates some kind of, a new investment or maybe some money coming your way or some kind of thing like that. But in this case, we're talking about the toadstone. And I shouldn't have put that down so fast. You can see maybe this little ring in front of the toad is the toadstone. And traditionally, a lot of stories, people believed, maybe during the Middle Ages and before, about a toad having a toadstone inside its head. That was a magical stone. And if you would get that stone and it would be heated up and you would wear it, and it would help protect you from being poisoned or protect you against being cursed or hexed or anything bad that could happen to you, which I think is kind of funny. Is it going to protect me from being hurt? Is it going to protect me from being hurt? This is talking about, but what it is talking about here is the practical application of using magic, of using your gifts, your prosperity, of using tools for healing, on the hiccups, in a practical sense. In a sense that really makes something you can use. Okay? So something is being manifested. The Ace of Pentacles says something new is being manifested, and it's being offered to you, and you're to make the most of it in all its glory. Make the most of it. Make the most of what you have. This group of people that I'm in touch with right now, that I celebrated with last night, I don't need to be afraid of this. I need to just be open to this and be willing to trust. And then myself, I'm not going to get hurt. They're not going to hurt me. If they try to hurt me, I can handle it. I've done it before. I've done this before. And in the meantime, I can get so much from them. So this is a really cool reading, and I thought, oh my, you know what I thought? I couldn't help but to think, how does this reading relate to my word of the year, alchemy, or my card of the year, which I got from the word of the year I got from the card of the year, which is temperance. Remember, if you saw that video, if not, go back and watch it. I just posted it last week. How do I get, when I get off balance, when I get thrown off balance, this whole year is going to be about, dealing with putting myself back in balance, keeping myself back in balance, and using the gifts that I have to keep that balance. Taking the things that are given to me, all the ups and downs, and giving to them, and keeping them and working together to transform what I have into something new. That alchemy of taking, whatever is given to you, whatever cards you're given, and make it into something you can use. Make it into something, build it into something that is helpful to you. Okay? If things are hurtful, what can I do? I have a community now around me that can help. I have a community that can love and support me, that I can love and support. I can use my tools to love and support them. So it all seems to tie in with me. It's general. I didn't want to give too specifics out here. It's not an earth-shattering reading, but I loved it. I thought this was a very interesting concept of answering more than just, these were specific questions with specific cards, and I thought that was a really good exercise for me. I hope it is for you. I'm going to turn the camera around just for a few final points. Well, how was that? I don't know. I kind of liked it. I don't know if you did or not. I didn't spend too much time. I tried not to spend too much time on it because, I don't want these to be long-winded things. Drive everybody crazy. But I wanted to give you enough so that maybe you could do this. You do not have to do this spread, remember, with this deck. This spread would work with any deck. It just was a cute little thing for this deck because of the cards. But it really would work for anything. When you ask the questions, who, what were the questions again? Who, what, when, where, and why. That's a detective looking at a tarot reader acting as a detective, which I thought was really fun because it forces me. I could see right away with the first card when I got the Enchanter's wheel in the position that it was gonna. When in the world would you ever think of the Wheel of Fortune as a person? As a person. Well, in this case, it wasn't a person. It was a personification of a force in our lives that is just like having a person in your life. A person who is influencing me, who, I'm influenced so strongly by the ups and downs of life, right? And so in that case, it seems to work. When I was looking at, here I have my notes in front of me. I should bring this over so I can see. In my journal. When I was looking at what as the Three of Visions, that was a little easier, but that was more like, okay, this would normally, you would think it would say is who. But it wasn't saying who, it was saying what. So it wasn't about the people. It wasn't about actually the people that I want to celebrate with, even though I knew right away who they were. But it was about the act of celebrating, allowing myself to celebrate in that way. Allowing myself to give myself over to trust in people so that I can open myself up, that I can relax, that I can just accept the friendship that is offered. Okay? When do we read the Ten of Boons as when? How did we read that as when? The Ten of Pentacles as when? The Ten of Pentacles is a what? Is a celebration, and usually we see that in the tarot spreads as a what? So what? Something that's going to happen in the future, or something that happened in the past. Being close, having part of a close-knit community or family. But this is a when. This is saying right now. It came up for me right now. Right now is the time. And wasn't it timely after I just came off of that event last night that I felt that when I woke up this morning, I felt that energy of, closeness and, safety. and friendship with those people. Okay. So that was so cool. And where? That was an even better one because we're talking about the Four of Boons. Answering the question where, this was a little trickier. But do you see how we made it work? You can make it work if you give it a little bit of thought. Hoarding, fear, you hoard because you're afraid. You hold yourself, you keep yourself away from what you think is dangerous. You keep things away from you. You keep your possessions close. You keep your emotions close. You keep yourself close. You keep yourself close. That was what it was saying to me. I'm keeping myself close and being afraid to share, to open myself up with other people. This is telling me that I need to open myself up. I need to, but it's okay. I don't have to worry about what if I get hurt? What if I get hurt? I can still keep things close to me that have to stay close to me. What part of me can I let go of, and what part of me do I hold close? Where is the line? Where is the line that I can cross? Where is the line that I need to hide or I need to stay safe? It's okay to have that line. It's okay. And why? The wise woman knows why. The wise woman knows why. We need people around us. We have to have people to support us, people to help us when we're in time, when we're hurting, or that we can tell our, bounce ideas off of, or whatever. We need those people close to us. But it's not just that we need people close to us. We need to be able to give. Do you remember the video I did a couple years ago when we were suffering in our business, when our business was at the end? And I was saying the hardest part about not having the money was not about not having the money. It wasn't about not being able to pay the electric bill on time. It was about not being able to share, not being able to give, not being able to be open and be, generous with myself, with other people that I love, because we were in such a bad place that was the worst place. This is telling me the wise woman knows I need them as much, they need me as much as I need them. I need to give to them as much as I need to get from them. That's how it works. That's how it works. And finally, the Ace of Boons, talking about you have the protection around me. I have the protection around me. If I have to worry, and can you see here? I don't know if you could see it before the little toad with his toadstone, offering the toadstone. I don't have to worry about, because I have protection around me. I have all the protection I need in front of me. If I'm not sure which way things should go sometimes, read the signs. They're all around me. I need to trust my intuition. The last time I had this problem with people disappointing me and hurting me, I let into them too easily. I let myself in too easily. I trusted too much. I can trust without giving myself completely, without making myself vulnerable. Okay, so that's telling me I don't have to worry. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then finally, about the wheel of the year, about the word for the year. I don't know why I never speak what's in my head. My head has a thought and my mouth just speaks whatever it wants to speak. The card of the year, the word of the year that I have is temperance. My card is temperance. My word of the year is alchemy. Talking about taking all the little bits that the world has to offer me right now, all the ups and downs in this wheel that it's passing out to me, and dealing with them. If they're bad, things are bad, well, do your best. Power through. Do your best. Things are going to get good. It's not going to last. You're going to be able to handle this. Things are going to be handled. These are little things. This is not any major. We have no big major shakeups in this reading. Okay. Anyway, I'm talking too much. And by the way, I was mentioning the Forge was my card of the year, which in this case is the representation of Temperance card in the Rider-Waite. And it's the Forge in this deck, which it tells you that process of alchemy, that process of turning things around, making things new. taking two things and making something new and better, improved, right, from that thing. Okay, and here with the help of friends, loved ones, and my own intuition and knowledge and wisdom. Should work out good. Nice reading, cool thing, maybe a cool spread. Tell me if you like the spread. Tell me if you tried the spread with another deck. I'd love to know how it works for you. And until next time when we read again, I'm Rebecca and I wish you blessings. Thanks for watching.